Hello and welcome back to Kim Talks Resilience, where we share stories of insight and inspiration in life, love, and business with resilient women from around the world. So, before we get started, be sure you check out queenofresilience.shop. This is our online store. There's all sorts of fun and sassy stuff in there. So, again, that is queenofresilience.shop. So, our guest today, super excited because this is actually the next journey I'm headed into, and I'm hoping right along with you, we're going to learn a lot today. Shay Wheat is a certified event producer and the creator of popular programs such as the Powerful Event Process and the Ultimate Event Planner Certification Program, plus CEO, and I love this name, Grace and Ease Productions, Inc. Grace and Ease Productions Inc. supports their clients in creating powerful and profitable events, producing in-person and live virtual events from 50 to 4,000 plus attendees, and collaborating with many well-known celebrities such as one of my favorites, Lisa Nichols, Dr. Claire Zammit, Alison J. Prince, and Josh Turner, just to name a few. Shay assists speak to sell clients to extremely profitable, to become extremely profitable in their events. Sorry, I got excited over the word profitable. We all do. Just recently, one of her clients, get this, generated over $2.1 million in one virtual live 3-day event. Shay's clients have made over 24 million in revenue, gaining over 3,500 new clients and changing the lives of over 16,000 plus attendees. Shay's team handles all the planning, speaking, and sponsor support, as well as the production of virtual live and in-person events to create experiential, revenue generating, and exciting events for the attendees. So I want everybody to sit up, grab your pen and paper. I guarantee you are going to be taking really true gems away today. Welcome to Kim Talk, Shay.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. We're gonna have so much fun.
I found you're doing a obviously a really good job. You're making a lot of people money. You're helping a lot of people get inspired and find the money, because we got to remember when we're talking about these speak to sale speakers, they're not only making money here, they're teaching people how they can make money in their own lives. And
Yes.
the numbers are out. $480. This is the number you need to generate of $480 more a month to live and eat the same way this year that you did last year, based on a statistical household income of $75,000 a year. So everybody, that is where this is an ecosystem that Shay is creating. That's not just the speaker. That's only one piece. That's one you can actually gauge. All that 16,000 plus people, if they all just tapped one gem and get the opportunity to make $480, everybody can buy the same quality of groceries that they did last year. So I think that's awesome. I just heard that stat, and I'm a stat. That's my junk, right? I love my stats. So okay, so Shay, let's get started. I always like to know who you are, and this is not the story of what you do or your qualifications. I want to know, are you the middle child? Did you suck your thumb till you were 6? Did you break your leg riding your bike your first time? Why do you do what you do? Because I know that it's somewhere within the foundational fabric of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So it depends on, I guess, what you're looking for. Sometimes I was the middle child, sometimes I was the oldest child, if you include step families or not step families. And so I think I have probably the makings of both, being a middle child and an older sister. If you go along the lines of broken bones, I've never broken a bone, which is fascinating because I lived on 10 acres of land. I rode horses, we had cats and dogs, and I did all of the things like rolling down the hill and all that kind of jazz, but I've never broken a bone, thankfully. Knock on wood,
Knock
right?
on wood.
However, I did have a tree fall on me and still thankfully didn't break a bone, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
tree.
So that's a whole nother story. We were up at the family cabin and we'd just gotten done, breaking up all of these trees because of the storms and chopping them up and everything else. And we're sitting in the hammock and we're there and we're like kind of swinging back and forth, and all of a sudden the tree collapses on me. And I must have hit it in a way where I'm like turning around and I blocked, my fiance, and the dog was coming over. So nobody got hurt except for me. Thankfully, it was really just deep, deep, deep bruising to the point where it's been a year and I still have like numbness in my leg where the tree hit. But that's total like side note. 'Cause
Wow.
you-
Wow. A tree fell. I can say honestly, I've never had a tree fall on me. I've broken many bones, but I've never had a tree fall on me. So, okay. So now we all got kind of an idea. Do you have any children? Do you have a dog, cat now? Anything like that? What do you got hanging around?
Yeah, so we've got some fur babies. I've got two cats that have been with me for probably 14 years now. And we have a rescued Siberian Husky who is about 3. She's been with us for about a year, year and a half. She's a COVID puppy.
Awesome.
Yep. And so she loves harassing her brother cats. And we just recently moved to a different area of the Bay Area near San Francisco. So very,
Oh,
very excited about that.
sweet.
Mhm.
Sweet. That is one city I passed through it in literally it's one of those things where you almost you blink, right? And you've already gone through it. And uh I always regret not staying overnight in my road trip because San Francisco just is everything I see and read and watch. It makes me just want to go there. Now that COVID's over, that's a goal. That's a
Time
goal.
to travel again. We just got back from France.
Absolutely. Oh,
So, yes.
awesome. Was that
Yes, it
work
was
or
lovely.
play?
Well, more play for me, work for my fiance. So I kind of tagged along. I mean, my business is I can be virtual, right? So I can kind of go anywhere, and then it's just playing with the time zones of, when everybody's back home working, it's later in the evening over there, and that's usually when you're having your 4-hour dinner.
Oh, 4-hour dinner. Yeah, nothing. I think we all needed a little bit of a COVID reset to see the value and the blessings that we all get just in mobility and
Mhm.
connectivity. So when we're talking connectivity, that is what you do. You are
Yes.
basically a specialist in that space. So let's dive into what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we support speakers, coaches, experts, thought leaders in creating powerful and profitable events. And the reason we do this is because really events are the fastest way for people to know, like, and trust you. They tend to get into like an emotional state and you have a highly experiential bond with you. It's a little bit different than just over the phone. And it's not just a talking head over a webinar. It's just dramatically different when you are in a virtual live experience or you're live on stage. And that's really why the businesses that are doing events are the ones that are making multiple 6 figures. And the thing I love about it is it's not as hard as you might think when you do it right. For example, I have a client of mine that made $882,000 at her very first 2-day live event, nearly $1 million. And now she's off and running and she's playing in the big leagues. So the businesses that are doing events are the ones that are making 6 and 7 figures. But on top of that, they're creating communities. They're creating connection. They're changing the lives of the attendees that are showing up because we know that people are in pain. And my experts are the ones that know how to support them in getting them out of that pain. And we just help make it as smooth of a process as possible so they can just show up in their genius zone.
Well, you have me at Lisa Nichols. I'll be honest. I've been tracking her, I think, for 12 years. I think it was 12 years ago she was on Oprah.
Yeah.
And that's when I became aware of her story with her son and how when he was an infant, she didn't have money for diapers. And when my son is 33, so we had our sons just a year or so apart.
Mhm.
And I was in the same boat. And at one point in time, I was homeless. And she had me because of the story, not because she was what she was selling or the book she was promoting or
Mhm.
anything else. She had me because of this story of vulnerability she shared.
Mhm.
And I knew that I could relate with it.
Mhm.
So let's talk. I want to talk about these events. So, um, a lot of people, including myself, I have hosted smaller scale events, but I've always been more on the TV production. I do TV production, and then we have an event within it because I need human bodies, right? So
Right.
it's a little bit different concept in the sense that we're designing everything to be on TV versus,
Mhm.
an event per se.
Right.
But okay, so let's talk about the number one issue most people have, selling the tickets. How do you seriously, that is the
It's
number one
true.
issue. Most people sit here and go, "How do I get these
Right.
sold?"
Yes.
You've got
Yes.
16,000 plus people you've attracted. What's your secret go-to? Give us not everything, just give us one nugget that if
Yeah.
somebody's out there sitting in Ohio and they're watching this, that they can actually take and work to apply.
Yeah. So what it is, get your pens and paper ready. It's called a ticket map. Okay.
Okay.
So a ticket map is all the ways that we plan on filling the room. We aren't all about like just going, oh, I'm going to send some emails out and I'm going to do some social media posts and hope that people show up. No, 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 no. I want to know down to the last number what this actually looks like. So we create with all of our clients is what's known as a ticket map. So if you were to take a piece of paper and you're going to draw a box, you're going to have a couple of different columns. In the first column, it's going to be the opportunity or the ticket source. This is all the ways that we plan on filling the room. These are going to be things like I'm going to do send an email out to my list and I'm going to do a webinar, or I'm going to be a sponsor at somebody else's event, or I'm going to go and ask my friends for referrals, or I've already sold some products and I'm going to go back to those past
Yeah.
clients, or I'm going to do a speaking gig, or joint venture partner calls, past clients, strategic networking, all the
Yeah.
ways that you're going to fill that room. That's the first column. The second column is going to be the anticipated number of prospects. So, for instance, if you were doing your email list to a webinar, you expect 30 people to show up to the webinar. Okay. You're going to, go and do speaking gigs. And let's just say you have 5 speaking gigs you're going to do. You expect 8 to 10 people in each of those rooms. That's 50 people, right?
Yep.
The third column is your anticipated conversion. This is the percentage of people that will convert from being in the room to saying, when you make the offer to grab a ticket to your event, will say yes. So, statistically, webinars probably about a 10% conversion versus somebody that's like a past client. They've already said yes to you. They love and adore you. Is going to be more 20% versus a speaking gig. Those range from 10 to 30% on your conversion rates. Okay.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
gives you the fourth column, which is your projected ticket sales. How many people? 30, 10% conversion, 3 tickets. Okay. Last column is the total. So when you add up all your ticket sources and you go across and you do all your projected sales, what is the final number? So what we do is we go, okay, our goal is 50 tickets. What are all the ways that we're going to go ahead and fill this room? And on top of that, we want to make sure that we actually oversell. Why the heck are we going to oversell it? Not everybody
It
shows.
shows. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we want to make sure if our goal is 50 people actually showing, we need to oversell our goal in order to have people, our goal actually show up.
Because the purpose is to have those people there, so it's an opportunity for the speakers to engage further. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. So that's what we do is we actually are strategic in how we're going to fill our room versus just I'm going to have some people knowing from me, or I'm going to have, this person, send out an email and I'm going to send out an email and my goal is to have 150 tickets. And then people wonder why they only had 4 sold.
Okay,
'Cause they
so
weren't
with
strategic.
ticket map, where in that ticket map is like Facebook ads or Google ads?
Yeah,
Is there space in that ticket? Is there like is that one of the things that you do? And
absolutely.
do you find it effective because I'm hearing from a lot of people challenges around Instagram and Facebook specifically around their algorithms and how they're weeding things out. Is that something that you're constantly kind of I guess, re-engineering or taking a look at, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, so we as a company don't necessarily put the Facebook ads together. Our clients already have a system in place, or they already have part of their marketing team that is running Facebook ads. And so
Okay.
they know their audience. They know what the trigger points are. They know what the pain is. They know what the keywords are that need to be on those ads. But we don't put all of our energy into that one basket, right? We
Yeah.
know that it's also more of just an overall brand opportunity that somebody might see it because they're searching for something along those lines and you just happen to show up as that sponsored ad. But really, the things that are going to fill the room the fastest are speaking gigs. They're getting in front of people. They're doing the clubhouse rooms. They're doing your Facebook lives, your Instagram lives. They're getting on podcasts. They're doing webinars. They're doing master classes. They're doing the outreach, the lead gen opportunity type of events, because there's probably 17 different types of events people can be using in their business. They're doing the
Yep.
lead gen ones that are helping them to fill the room.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so we have people to the room. How many different ways can you utilize the content coming from an event? I
Okay.
bet you got this covered.
Yeah, repurpose everything.
Everything. Everything.
Everything. Constantly be repurposing everything. So you could take a podcast, and you can repurpose that. You can put it on your social media. You can take snippets of it and do it as reels. You can then take it and create a meme out of it. You can put it on TikTok. You can put it on YouTube. You can put it, everywhere on social media. Repurpose just even a 30-minute talk that you do, right? If you're doing a 3-day sales and enrollment event, oh my gosh, you've got content for days, days. I
Yep.
mean, the way that we set up an event, a 3-day event, is you are giving content and creating this journey with your audience, right? They come in going, this is my pain. This is what I need to step through. And I know you have the answers. I need your support. So with every event that we do, there is always an event promise. Whether they do business with you or not, they are walking away with valuable information that they can use to implement right then and there. That's a like a non-negotiable for our company, right? So then we also know that there's a percentage of people that are like, fudge, I need accountability. I need support. I need you to hold my hand.
Yep.
I need you to walk me through the things. I need you to look at when I'm starting to implement something and you see, because you have the experience as the expert, to go, whoa, wait, hold on, tweak, and then move forward, right? We know that there's a percentage of people that are like, I just want to pay for that expertise to support me in getting there quicker and faster so I don't fall into the same pitfalls that you did, right? So it's important to look at what are we doing, how are we supporting the audience, and how are we getting them results that will help them move into that next level for themselves.
And it's interesting because there was a statistic, again, being the stats, that 7% of your projected income needs to be reinvested into some form of leadership or something along those lines. So
Mhm.
if you want to make $100,000, where are you going to put that $7,000 to help you make that $100,000? And this is a national American statistic. This is not me just pulling it out of my thin air. But you like how I caught that one, eh? So,
I was like, she did
um,
go there? What's happening?
no, I did not go there. So okay, let's talk keynotes. So a lot of people they feel like their name can't attract the audience that they want to host. So let's talk keynotes. So with Lisa Nichols, I'm going to keep picking on her because I absolutely adore her. She's a keynote, right? So
Yes.
she's somebody that you would pay to come on your stage. How attractive is a keynote, and what are the ways to leverage a keynote in order to maximize an event?
Absolutely. So I've had one client that actually brought on Gary Vee as one of their keynote speakers, right? And so when you are bringing in somebody like that or a Lisa Nichols, you want to make sure that you are utilizing that name recognition as a value add to your marketing. So you want to be putting them on and make sure like it's in your contract too,
Yeah.
right? It's like this is how we plan on promoting it and this is how we're going to be using your image and see what they will allow you to do and not allow you to do, right? So in some instances you can't necessarily repurpose some of the material that you get from your event. So you want to make
Oh,
sure that your
rightfully so.
contracts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rightfully so though. If they're speaking to sell from the stage, I mean, that's their proprietary content. Yeah.
So make sure that your contracts are rock solid, right? And both are agreeing to those terms. Um, we had one keynote where they said we couldn't reuse their like sell it to the general public. We could sell the recordings to those that were already registered, the
Yeah.
recordings to them. And then what they also did was the content was so great and the community was so fantastic that the keynote actually repurposed some of it, some of their talk or what they said on their own website. And then our client took it from their website because they've already put it out there on social media, right?
Yeah.
And just repurposed it and was like, look at what so and so just said, right? And like, can you believe this? And, do you agree? And repurposed it that way, right? So there's a ton of different ways if you just think outside the box a bit of how you can leverage an amazing keynote speaker to support you in gaining eyeballs on what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, and how much, like, on average, I've seen keynotes anywhere from 7,500 up to 75,000, right? And I know like
Or
Mel
more.
Robbins is like 150, right?
Yeah.
Because she's one
Yeah.
of the top paid female speakers globally. What are the options of actually then, if you're not hosting an event, what are the options, or where would you find information on maybe even cutting your teeth on being on one of their stages, like, filler? Because I mean, emerging speakers have to go somewhere.
Mhm, mhm. Right, well, and it doesn't mean you have to be, like, a super international well-known speaker, you can be an expert within your own field, right? And be
Yeah.
a huge keynote within your industry that people are following, but the best way to do that is to be doing your own stages, is to be utilizing your own platforms, whether they're free platforms or master classes or clubhouse rooms, really start getting your name out there because when you start doing events, you really become a player in your industry. So much so that your peers start to notice, right? It also opens up doors for bigger speaking gigs and bigger stages, higher level podcasts. It really just starts to change the game for you completely. And then you just kind of take like this radical jump within your peer group. So I had one of my clients who did an event and was teaching and coaching and doing all of these things, so much so that Tony Robbins ended up going, huh, I don't have somebody that teaches on this. Will you come and teach to my audience? And has been on his stage for years now. Then it just kind of catapulted her even more after that to the point where she's been on Netflix and she's been on TV shows and radio shows and all kinds of extra international type of venues because she started with her own stages.
And with everybody coming out of COVID,
Mhm,
and with the anticipation of 30% of the people not going back to traditional workplaces,
mhm.
Um, but they're still working for people. Where do you see corporate engagement within these connectivity opportunities through events? Do you see that there's some sort of synergy that people who are hosting events could work with local corporations, or just out of curiosity, because I keep seeing these numbers floating around, and the fact that we're in the second wave of resignations and there's all this stuff going on,
Mhm.
is there some way that the corporations will leverage these events to send all their people to, if they're not
Mhm.
coming into the office? How do you do this, right? Are you seeing
Mhm.
anything like that?
Yeah, I think there is a new wave of that starting to happen, because people are at home. And when you're at home, we've had a lot more stuff coming up with mental health and
Yeah.
acknowledging those pieces of it. We have a lot more people looking to coaches and experts to support them. We have corporations bringing in organizations that can support their audience with whatever's coming up personally as well as professionally. We have people looking at uh, why am I blanking on the word right now? Diversity, and in the dynamics that are happening within your organization itself, and bringing in experts from that piece.
Yeah.
And to be a corporation that is doing that also makes you very enticing to new people wanting to join your workforce. With so many people wanting to step out and do different things or go to different industries, if you are a corporation that's going, well, hey, look, we're bringing in outside experts to support not only the personal development, but also the professional development. I think that's very enticing for corporations.
I think that the I believe that everything has been accelerated,
Mhm,
and we are a very, very different. We have very different thresholds and acceptances as to what life is to be for each of us.
mhm,
Coming out of COVID, then going into COVID, there was a lot we put up with before COVID, and now it's just like, yeah, not going to happen.
yeah.
Um, What is okay, so I haven't covered it all. What is it that you have seen, or you had an aha moment, or you really like you feel that needs to be shared that I haven't even touched on, because I'm not in your industry, so I don't know all of the cool stuff going on behind the scenes.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel that being in community is the biggest thing that we need to be in right now. Because so many of us are solopreneurs, or we're working from home and we've got the kids and we've got the dogs and we've got everything happening. And what we don't have is a safe place to connect with other like-minded individuals to work through whatever is showing up for us right now in this season. Where we were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago is different than where we are right now. And I feel that being in an event, being with like-minded individuals and having that connection to other people that are in similar situations is the thing that will pull us out of the funk that some of us are feeling. And I also feel that it is, even if you're going to an event to learn the how to's of X, Y, and Z, there's still something magical that happens when you're with your peers, when you're with like minded individuals that just sparks creativity. It sparks resiliency. It allows you to go, oh, wow, I'm not alone. And I feel that is the power underneath events that I feel that we all deserve to experience, a number of times a year, honestly.
Well, and with all the money you're saving on gas by not leaving your house, dude,
Right?
leave once a month. Leave once a month. Invest that money where I think a lot of people through COVID, because we had such dissension amongst families and
Mhm.
friends, and there's all this. I mean, we've had nothing but this conflict going on through social media, be it political or be it through the should I get the vaccine, shouldn't I, whatever. The reality is, I think a lot of people their worlds have gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and
Yeah.
smaller and smaller. And now we're being released, and it's like getting this locomotive going again. Right?
Mhm.
All of us had
Mhm.
this train going down these tracks. We were all at full speed, and then all of a sudden COVID happened.
Yeah.
And we were still mentally going full speed. So then we got on social media, we argued with our neighbors, we
Mhm.
didn't see family for Thanksgiving. So we kept continually getting further and further and further away from our friends. And then our engine cooled off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a great way to take a look at it because it's true. And now I'm even noticing it for myself because we're starting to do more hybrid events, right? And it's going, "Oh, okay, yeah, I have to think again what we did for in-person live events because we did virtual live events where everybody was still showing up and still engaging and like we had great engagement. We had great connection with people virtually live, but to be in person again, it's like, "Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. That's what it was like. That's what we have to
Yeah.
do." And then just my logistical brain is like, "Oh, these are all the other things I have to put into place in
Yeah.
order for those experiences to happen," right?
And I'm type person, I got to the point where it was very hard for me to get out of the house the first few times. And I am an extrovert, and I derive my energy from others.
Mm.
And I do. And I would rather be navigating a stage than, down a one-on-one. I love that group, that buzz that you get.
Mhm.
And I really struggled. I really struggled getting out of there. I also struggled finding pants that would button, but that's a whole nother story.
That's where we get, like, the stretchy pants that look like professional pants. Don't say you haven't all looked for those. Okay.
There you go. There you go. Lululemon came out with some nice leisure wear, let me tell you. So, before we get started on the why story of resilience, we still got your book to like what book we should be reading and where we should be getting our information. Before we go there, I want everybody to take a moment. And please, please, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Again, let's do that one more time. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Because as we know from the Care Bear, sharing is caring. So please do support that. It's super easy, and I won't hound you with 5 emails a day. I promise I won't chase you down. Just going to be able to serve you better because we're all working together. So
Mm.
on that note,
Yeah.
what can you share with us about your why? Everybody has a why as to what they're doing because
Mhm.
we work a lot. Your brain's probably going 70 hours a week as to, oh, and I could do this, and I could do that, and I could do this, and I can do that. So why? Why do you do it?
Yeah. I when I got into this, I feel I kind of fell into it. And I was like, well, if I don't do this, then what am I going to do? Right. And when I started to really get into event production, I was like, this is why. This is why. It's in those moments when it's day 2 of the event and you're hearing you're seeing the people walk in and they're like, I don't know, is this really what's happening here? And then towards the end of the event, they're like, what's up? How's it going? Oh my God, I love you. It's that transformation that I just love watching the light bulb moments show up for people and them coming out of their shell. And the reason I do event production versus being the one really on stage is I could only do so many events myself if I was doing them for my company. I get to be a part of so many different communities. I'm a bit of a chameleon. So I like to go over here and then I like to be over here and then see these types of people and be in different communities and learning from different types of people. And I'm not just like stuck to one thing all the time, right? That's just not my personality type. And so by doing what I do, I get to be a part of everybody else's community. And I get to see the aha moments and I get to see them coming back year after year and telling me the updates and the transformation and what's happened in their lives since we last saw them. I get to be just that little bit of a ripple effect that goes and changes the world. Because I've always see this as I'm locking arms with my clients, and then we're locking arms with their attendees, and then we're creating that wave of change together. So that's why I do that. I do it because I want to be that one little spark. I want to be the person that creates the space and container for someone to have their transformation and their aha moment. And they may not know I have anything to do with it, but I know I do.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, no, it's where do you make impact? And I think a lot of people right now are looking to make impact. May have felt sidelined before COVID, definitely sidelined during COVID. They're coming out of this swinging.
Yeah.
They want more. And there's so much room. There's so much room, people. There's so much room. Says that there's what was it? Shakespeare says that there's 7 original storylines.
Yeah.
7 original storylines. And yet I can promise you this, there are no 2 voices the same.
Mm.
And for one person that speaks up, there's thousands that are afraid to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my big thing is if you're open and willing to speak up, you need to speak up. They say that if you know something but you never share it, you may as well have never known it.
Mm. Yeah. Well, and how dare you? How dare you not share it?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
if you can support somebody with the knowledge and the information and the expertise that you have, somebody is dying inside wanting to know that information that can completely change their life. How dare we not share it? How dare we not support them? And it doesn't mean we have to do it for free. There is always an energy exchange of some sort. But how dare we not at least present the opportunity to support
Yep.
them?
So this is where I like to always ask a story of resilience.
Mm.
And you're welcome to share as big, little, deep, or surface, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But I always ask, what is a story of resilience that without resilience, we would not be having this conversation today?
Yeah. Yeah. So one that I'm thinking of right now is I was originally going to become a medical doctor. That's how I was going to go and make my impact and change the world. First woman in my family to graduate from a 4-year university. Like that was the path and track I was on. Ended up realizing that, you know what? I was in organic chemistry, like doing my homework on it and going, fudge, this is not it. This is not it. Ended up getting into network marketing, ended up connecting with somebody who, then became my boyfriend. And, we were building the business together. And as I was in that relationship, it wasn't the healthiest for my mental status. It became to the point where, things were getting rockier and shakier. And um, a lot of the communication coming my way was, you're never going to be able to do this on your own. You would never be able to build a business on your own. You're nothing without me. I'm the one that does all of the work here. You just show up. You're just, the person that's just behind the scenes. You don't really do anything. And when I finally released myself from that relationship, and I kind of, went into some deep healing and figuring out what direction I wanted to do and where I wanted to go next. It's funny to go, okay, look, you ended up building a multiple 6-figure business. You end up creating a transformation for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people around the globe. You get to work with amazing people. And it's the resilience to go, you know what? I can. I can do this on my own. I can be of value. I can support other people. I can use my talents of being behind the scenes to make a difference for other people. And without that moment, I wouldn't have been here today, supporting the clients that I have. And so I look back at it and I go, yeah, it sucked in the moment and it was painful. And I wouldn't trade it because I wouldn't have been in this situation now.
I get it. I get it. I have been there. And one of the things and I'm 53, folks. So one of the things I've learned, and I'm slowly learning in my age, and I actually am reading a book that was recommended to me, which is called um, Positive. What is it? It's just a fabulous book. And I can tell you what it is. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Positive Intelligence. It's a really good book,
Mm,
and it actually talks about. And one things that I've learned over the last little while is when somebody says something like that, that's
mm.
directly reflected back at themselves.
Right?
That has
It's like
nothing to do with So when they
20 to
point
3
one,
fingers
there's
back at
three coming
you.
back.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And for those who are listening that maybe are right now not able to step out and say, oh, well, they're just talking about themselves, do know that there are an incredible group of women who have been through this. So do reach out. And you know what? Good on you, Shay. Good on
Mhm.
you. It shows that there's some good resilience in you. And no wonder a tree didn't break any bones. So, okay, talking books. We're going to go into
Yes.
books. What's one or two books you think every solopreneur, entrepreneur, speaker, coach, somebody out there needs to read? What's your fave?
Yeah. So when I was actually in that resilient moment and I was coming out of it, I was reading In the Meantime. So that was a really, really powerful book for me to go through the levels of Love's House and kind of traverse that and how you go up and down in Love's House. So that was really, really super powerful. Another book that I'm reading like right now is called The Wealthy Entrepreneur. Well, there we go.
There you go.
Um, this one is actually one of my clients wrote this one. He's an accountant of all things, right? And people are like, oh, accounting and finance and blah, but he's really, really fantastic at creating that formula of making money, gaining financial clarity in your business, how to really utilize it to help continue to grow your revenue. And an example of somebody who's actually himself grown 236% in revenue and 72% in team size, and is recognized as like one of Canada's fastest growing businesses by the Globe and the Mail, I believe is what it's
Globe
called.
and Mail. Yeah.
Yeah. And how he actually uses events to support that. But all of that's happened in the pandemic. So,
What's what city is he in? Out of curiosity.
oh, that I'd have to look up. I don't know
East
exactly what city.
East Coast, West
East
Coast?
Coast. East Coast.
East Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably don't
Yeah.
know. I know everybody on the West, but yeah. Canada's a big country. Everybody
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And it's like, "They're in Toronto, and there's like
Right.
13 million people there." No, I don't know them, but thank you for thinking I should. Maybe
I
I'll look
love
them
that
up.
because we get the same thing. Like in middle America, I went to a wedding for my cousin and they're like, "Oh, you're from California? Do you know so and so?" Like an actor or somebody like that. I'm like, I'm in Northern California is big.
Yeah. Oh, I'm from Kansas, and the reality is we all do know each other. We're probably related, been married to, sold something to, I don't know, drank beer with somebody, who knows? But
Right.
yeah, but in the big places, because California is actually the populace of Canada.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
California, the population of California is greater than the population of Canada, and yet Canada is a larger land mass. Now,
Yeah.
let's really qualify this, folks. 80% of the land mass is too cold to survive in, but it is a larger land mass than the United States. So it is
Yes.
funny because we have literally the population in California is predominantly, it's like 90% of Canadians live within like just a few hours of the American border. We're all huddled in for warmth. It's like, step around the
Snuggle.
fire. Yes. The dark is coming. Winter is coming, right? So I'm from Kansas. I've been in Canada for nearly 30 years. I love it here. It's given me every opportunity I've ever wanted. However, I'm done with
Oh,
winter, folks. I'm so done with winter. All right. So, uh, share with us, where can we find you, Shay, and tell me who your ideal client. We've talked about a lot of really big names. As you know, if you're, you've got some very high profile clients. You know, tell me a little bit about who can reach out to you. So where can they get a hold of you? And who would you like to reach out? Who are you looking for right now that would be a great fit within your organization?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So you can find us on all of the social media under Grace and Ease Productions. That's also our website. So graceandeaseproductions.com. You can find me personally at Shay Wheat. And I'm really looking to connect with the entrepreneur who is in phase 3, 4, and 5 of their business. And when I say 3, 4, and 5, this is somebody that is looking to utilize events to scale and leverage their company. They've got amazing success from their one on one conversations. They're getting their clients crazy awesome results. And now they're wanting to utilize events to go from one on one to one to many and really kind of scale what it is that they're doing so that it can make a bigger impact and support more people in what it is that they're doing. And
Excellent.
actually, you know what? I have a gift if it would be
Awesome.
okay to give
Yes.
everybody.
We all love a gift, especially when it comes with free mascara. Hello. No, I'm joking.
I
Folks,
don't
this
have any
does not come
mascara. I'm
with
not
free
in that
mascara.
business, but
Okay.
so I mentioned briefly, there's phases of event leverage. So if you want to figure out where you're at in terms of what types of events you should be doing right now that are going to make you the most money the fastest and help you grow and scale your business, the way to do that is to go to 5phases.info, and that's spelling out the word five, Five, phases with an s.info/resilience. And you can go ahead and download the phases of event leverage. I've got like a flow chart in there telling you what events, one of those 17 types of events you should be doing in your business right now, how to progress through in order to get to the next phase so that you can support more people with your brilliance.
Perfect. This is brilliant. And did you do that just for us?
I did.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Everybody, whether or not you're ready for Shay or feel that you're ready for Shay, do take advantage of this free gift because information is gold. It is the opportunity for you to grow. And there you may sit here and go, oh, I already know all this, or I've heard all this. But I promise you this, you download this, you'll see something they go, oh, I missed that. Oh, there's something. Every time I do anything or every time I talk to somebody, I do that. I go, oh, I didn't know that. And that's the beauty of constantly growing. And that's what we have to do. If you aren't growing, you're what?
Dying.
Dying. So give us a quote, my dear. I ask everybody, I collect quotes and
Yeah.
give us a quote and tell us why this quote means so much to you.
Yeah. I actually have this quote printed in my office. It's with a big old huge lemon tree that my mom actually found after a storm. And all of the lemons have like really kind of fallen off the tree. And so I've added this with that photo. And it's our deepest fear is that we are inadequate, or is that we're not inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most brightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? And that is all about, even in the moments of the storm, even if the fruit falls off the tree, you are resilient. You are that tree. You are that brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous light in the darkness. And so our fear of being powerful beyond measure kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier about how dare we not step into that powerfulness? Because the world requires us to say yes and figure it out along the way.
And I cannot think of a better way to close out today's show. Thank you, Shay. You are a gem and you are helping to bring opportunity and dreams to so many people just through your zone of genius of creating community to support others. So it is brilliant, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate being with you.
Absolutely. You know what, folks? That's the resilient here. We are always here dropping nuggets, creating, opportunities of insight and inspiration. If you feel at any point in time your resiliency is lagging, I want you to take a moment to listen and lean into our community. And you can also just go to resilientgift.com and register there. We're going to send you a monthly magazine highlighting some of our amazing guests. And there's always a recipe in there. Just so you know, July, August is going to be out soon. And I think I have an orange salad, marshmallow salad recipe in there. You know what? I'm going to find the weirdest recipes to share. These are all from the 50s, and my mom had them at every Thanksgiving. And the story, one thing always remember from today's: repurpose, repurpose, repurpose. Just like the Christmas turkey, the byproducts can be even better. So until next time, I'm Kim Hayden, and thank you for joining me here at Kim Talks Resilience.